So, my name's Kim Rose. I'm the artist from the Dirty South. The Dirty South is Louisiana, New Orleans. Some people call it Mississippi, Atlanta, but I grew up near New Orleans. And I moved to the Northwest in 2007. I came up here with a bachelor's degree in fine arts, which is pretty much useless. But it's not useless to the artist because the artist keeps doing their art if they really believe in it. So since college, I've done a lot more painting because it's more accessible than the photography that I was doing. To get in the darkroom requires transportation and fees and a lot of chemicals that are really not good for you. Even though I still love to do it, I do more painting now because I can do it in a studio and I don't need, too much help to do that. So my last project is this painting right here. It's 4 feet by 5 feet, and it took almost 9 months of time, including, having a day job and everything. It was my free time. And the theme is the Day of the Dead. Yeah, it's got texture on it, and I started to do some flocking, which is like what's on the blacklight posters. So I wanted it to be like a little bit three-dimensional, and eventually I want to go with a frame for it that has some LED lights running around the edges so it can be sort of viewed in a night setting, like maybe in bars or things like that. But if you look over here, this is what I did mostly during college. I was interested in layering my photographs with objects so that it was kind of a sculpture and a photograph in one. And sometimes I paint on them too, so there's a little bit of color that you can see in there. So it's something I do with a lot of my art. I don't really like to do straight, like one style of anything. I like to combine and layer like different styles of art and create like a more verbal image that says more, I think. Alright, so another project that I've been working on is pastel roses. I've been doing those for almost 10 years now, and a lot of people respond really well to them. It's all the roses are done by hand, so it's instead of like paints, you're actually like using your fingers, like smearing around everything. It's really involved and it's really fun. And I've done maybe 6 of those total. I haven't sold them originally yet, but lots of people ask, so that's pretty cool. And you can hear music in the background. I like to play music while I work because it's inspiring. I've collected music for probably the last 14 or 15 years of my life. I love music so much. It's a big part of my life. And I miss all those bands back home. So I'm still finding my way around here, like finding new bands to listen to, but it's very important to me. I think those two worlds really mesh well together, and I think that musicians and artists have a certain understanding that they can talk about their world and what they do, and maybe it's like some insider thing that not everybody's gonna get because they go through like some of the same trials, especially women. Women have like extra pressures, I feel like, sometimes when they're doing their work. There's a little bit more expected of them sometimes than they want to do, so it's like these extra hurdles, and I feel like that's a thing that girls can help each other out on and unite and like share their stories, because it's not always easy to be a girl artist. So some other stuff that I've done is photo collage work where I screen printed directly onto the photograph. And that's another example of my layering style. I did a series of about 18 of these, and I have sold some of the originals. They don't always have a deep meaning. I think this one's kind of a humorous one. You can kind of get it if you really look at it. So I won't explain it. But those were fun to do. And then over here, I have a painting I finished last year. And this was also a new technique to me because I combined spray paint with paint markers and acrylic paints and latex paint, and I like to work with those because they all dry really fast, and I know that they're a more modern type of paint to use. People can put out a lot more art faster, as opposed to like the older artists who were using oils. And I do build a lot of my own frames. That takes a lot of extra time, but it does save money. And I feel like it's a good skill for artists to have. So maybe one day I'll like help people, you know, with a class or something. Maybe you could teach it. I don't know. It's an idea. So yeah, they don't teach you that in college. I wish they would, but I don't think college really prepares an artist for the real world of art. So there's a lot of things you learn after you graduate that will help you out, or just being out there if you never go to school. Like, you learn by doing and by coming across like problems and good people and that will teach you things. So hopefully everybody gets to meet some people like that. I definitely have. And I don't know if you can see this, but I have a website too. This is called Etsy. It's spelled E-T-S-Y. It's an international store for artists to sell anything they make, from like prints, clothes, sculptures, and you can list all your items, you take your own pictures, you set your own prices, and they take only a very small percentage of what you make. So it's a really good place for artists to go, because retailers often take a much higher percentage, and when it comes down to it, the artist is usually the one who has to like sacrifice part of their profit just to be able to sell in a store. So I feel like the virtual stores provide artists with better opportunities, but there's also a lot more competition because a lot of people are doing the same thing, and you only have so much that you can do with your page to compete with everybody. So it's like, you know, if you have a lot of knowledge about the internet, then you can help promote yourself better, but I'm not one of those people, so I try and I learn as I go. So I guess that's it, and I hope everyone enjoys the film. I think this is a really great project, and see you later. Nice to meet you.